Another week, another set of races for us to guide you through. Welcome back, everyone. I'm sorry about the time mix-up. That's on me. I get my time zones all mixed up. I set the stream, so I have no excuse as to why we are 30 minutes late, but we're going to get it done no matter what. We are about an hour and a half, a little less than an hour and a half, to the first ever truck race on a street course at St. Pete's, and I'm here with the DFS Prince, DFS Army Prince, Taco. Taco, we're a little late, but we made it. But I don't think it's going to help us. This race is going to be pretty crazy, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a lot to say. I mean, we'd have to go over some people and whatnot. But yeah, it's the first ever Truck Series street course race. So what's there expect? I don't know. The only thing I can think of is iRacing experience equals good. And that's all I got for you. Yep. Oh no, did I lose Brady? Brady. Oh wait, we lost him. All right, give me a second to collect him.
Yo. Are we there?
Yeah.
It's been. What a disaster right off the start. Did I crash or did you crash?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay, I think it was me. Let me share back up. I'm so sorry, folks. This is a disaster. And I think it's probably pretty predictive. This whole race is going to be a disaster. Because as Taco was saying, I don't know. I didn't hear it because my whole system crashed. This is the first time we've ever been on a street course in the Truck Series. And street course racing is different than road course racing. And you'll see as we go through this field has almost no street course race experience, and they don't even have that much road course experience. This is a very green field. It's a very strange field. I have no idea what to expect out of this, and the fact that we only got about 4 or 5 laps of practice won't make this any easier.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. And then you've got the skeleton crews out there also, because the rest of the NASCAR industry is at Circuit of the Americas. So
that is one thing we don't have to worry about is the non-competitive pit stops. So you're gonna have to make passes on track, which will help with a bit of the carnage. I don't understand, and obviously we don't have it, but it's going to be very difficult to make passes at St. Pete's, and it's going to be very difficult to make passes if you don't have much street course experience. So really quick, the difference between traditional road course racing and street course racing, it's similar disciplines, but it's like a short track versus an intermediate track. On street courses, you have to be so gentle into the corners because you don't have any runoff. You look at a track like Watkins Glen, most of the corners have a very wide, and Coda is a perfect example. Coda is almost the exact opposite of what we'll see at St. Pete's. There's so much runoff. There's so much grip off the track. So you can really charge the corner, use as much as the off track stuff as you want, get huge runs. On a street course, there's no margin for error. If the wall is there, it's a street. So you have to be so gentle in the entry. You have to be so conservative with your braking. And we see guys like Shane Van Gisbergen, who's not in this race, be so good at it. There's nobody really in this race that has a ton of street course and Truck Series experience. So it's going to be really weird.
Yeah, I was saying, the only thing I can really think of here is that iRacing experience is good. So I guess they did a pretty good job with that, but I don't know, man. It's going to be pretty chaotic, I would imagine, the first time in a street course race.
And I suspect.
I was just going to say, it's just going to be similar to the first Chicago race where, you had guys like Justin Haley randomly be super good. It's okay, well, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I lost my train of thought, but what I was going to say is I don't even think iRacing has St. Pete's as a track. I might be wrong on that. The big manufacturer sims that use our factor probably do, but iRacing probably doesn't. So that's advantage some of the bigger teams. But let's hop into it. Hello, everybody. It is all Taco's fault. No, it's not Taco's fault. It's all my fault. But we'll blame Taco. No Dom rules needed. I really don't know what to do with Doms here. We'll talk about it as we go into it, but probably traditional road course kind of, you're going to want to target place differential. We'll talk about it as we go through the field. Moving forward, can we have closed captions turned on? I assume I can do that. I'll have to go back and look in the settings, but yes, I'll do my best, Kay. And what's up, 5 cents? So Taco, I would go back to track history or result history, but we have none.
Yeah, nothing.
How are you attacking this race from a DFS perspective? Is it traditional kind of road course racing, kind of stack the back and find those spots?
I mean, there's such limited information out there. You had a interrupted practice and a qualifying session. That's really all you have to go off of. So, I mean, even road course results, you got to take them with like a grain of salt because, again, road course is different than street courses. A truck series also didn't go to Chicago, so we've got fuck all.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I think you'll find there's an early dominator. One of these guys starting in the top 4 or 5 will lead a significant amount of the race. Well, some of the more seasoned street course / road course guys matriculate to the front. So I think you'll want to have at least one guy starting in the top kind of 10 and then find guys that have some place differential upside that have some experience on either road or street courses. So I would say if you're going to set the top 10, well, I'll have a better idea when we go through the Dom station and do it, but probably set this top 10 as dominators and do at least one or at most one.
Yeah, you could even do at most one. The thing with the slate, just fantasy wise, is it's crazy chalky. It's so chalky.
Yeah. Let's hop over to the practice tab. I'm going to get rid of this first lap.
Yeah, this is really all we have to go off of are these laps here.
I'm going to get rid of this first lap. And then maybe just go by best lap is probably our average lap might help a little, but probably not. And even this isn't super helpful because by lap 3, you still haven't completely got your bearing. So I would guess most of these guys weren't going 100%. They were just kind of trying to feel out the track. The track was evolving quickly. You've had MX5s on the track this weekend. You had the USF cars. You had Indy cars on the track. There was a ton of different rubber down. The track was changing rapidly. So I don't even trust any of these practice times, really. Obviously, Kaden Honeyut put down a really good lap, almost a second faster than Ben Mayer, who had the second fastest lap. That's promoted Kaden Honeyut to the favorite of this race, and it really shows you he was like plus 1,600 before practice. He lays down 2 good laps, and all of a sudden he's the favorite to win this race. Really shows you how little the sports books know what's going to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, he had the 2 best laps, so I mean that's pretty interesting for him. And again, a lot of this was interrupted not only by the weather but by Cole butchering the beginning of this practice session.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of ruined some guys' laps there.
Yeah, and these first couple laps, like 3 to 5, are just ramp up laps. You're just getting an idea of what the track is, and they're only a minute 20 type laps. So it wasn't a ton of time. You don't know if a guy like Ty Majeski was pushing. Maybe Kaden Honeyut went and put 2 flyers down while everybody else was being super conservative. So I don't even really trust any of this information, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people are going to go crazy off of the practice information that we have. Because with limited information, they tend to do that.
It would be slightly unusual to see Kaden Honeyut all of a sudden be a master of street courses because he's done well on road courses, but he was never a standout, and his background is not road course racing at all. So the fact they were so aggressive to make him the favorite of the race is somewhat surprising.
Yeah, and then on top of everything, the qualifying rained out set by metric. That's going to throw some things off too, because there's some guys that look pretty good out there, but they're going to be starting towards the rear of the field. So those guys are just going to be massively chalky. It's just a chalky slate. What do you do with a slate where, spoiler alert, everyone's going to run the same cash lineup, that sort of deal?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the best way to do, let's just get into the driver by driver because there's no history we can look at. There's no strategy history we can look at. Yeah. Usually we won't do this, but I'm going to sort by starting position because I do think this will be a place differential race. So we'll get past the guys starting up front to start. Anything you noticed in practice that we didn't mention, Taco? Anything you want to point out?
Not really.
Yeah. So let's just get into it. Connor Mosak, by virtue of Kyle Busch's Atlanta performance, will start on the pole. Connor Mosak has a ton of road course experience and a little street course experience too. Has a lot of Trans Am starts. That has never really translated into an effective run in any series in a stock car. I might be wrong on this, but I don't think he has any wins on a road course in the NASCAR ARCA up to Xfinity Series. He's led some laps at times. He's done okay, but starting first, we kind of need to see something we've never seen from Connor Mosak, and that's be able to dominate one of these road courses, even as experienced as he is on kind of road courses in the Trans Am Series.
He needs to finish a race. If you look at his average late running position, these road course races, 5.4, like he's always up there. He runs really well. He's just absolutely cursed in both trucks and Xfinity. He cannot finish races. So I mean, he's in the best spot he's ever been in before. There are no good ringers here. It's like a perfect spot for Mosak. So I would fully anticipate him, doing really well, running in the top 5 until 3 to go, and then he wrecks.
Yeah. I think Mosak's okay. I think the nice thing about this kind of higher starting position group, in theory, the floor should be pretty low because there's no competitive pit stop, so that doesn't matter. And there really shouldn't be all that much passing. It should be very similar to Lime Rock, where we saw everybody just kind of run in line the whole race because it's thin, and these guys don't have experience on passing on street courses. We saw it back in 23 when the Cup Series made its debut on the Chicago street course. SVG was the only one that could confidently pass because he had experience doing it. Everybody else was just kind of running in line. I think we'll see a lot of that. So even if Mosak isn't dominating early, if he stays out of trouble, he should at least stay in the top 10. Yeah,
and then there are a few more laps at this race than other road courses. There are like 15 more laps here than at COTA in the Xfinity Series. So, I mean, it's still going to be play stiff. But I guess if he dominates the whole race, like, sure, I guess he's the second favorite to win.
Yeah. Gio Rogerio will start on his outside. He's probably my favorite to dominate this race earlier. Mm-hmm. He's not a road racer by nature, but all of these young guys, especially the guys that are coming up in the Toyota program, are required to do a ton of road course racing, a ton of karting. Gio has had a lot of road coursing background and was taught by Connor Zilic back when Zilic was a coach for Toyota development. You can see it in his finishing last year, top 3 in all 3 of those races. Again, in a situation where we just don't have enough information on how these guys are going to perform on road courses, I think a guy like Gio, who's been in the Toyota development program that has prioritized road course racing, and Gio, iRacing, a lot of sim racing background, I think he's a really good pick to dominate this race early.
Yeah, and just good access to the sims this week. I mean, I did hear in the coverage that the teams are saying that they kind of nailed the sim at the bigger teams, right? And Toyota's probably leading the way in that charge. So, when you look at track history of these guys, or at least road course history of these guys, you got to like kind of bump all these numbers up a lot because that's with like actual good drivers in the field and Corey Heim in the field. The field's so weak that you have to kind of mentally adjust. Like, okay, if a dude is running 15th normally, it's like a 10th here.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a huge point. Like, even versus last year where the road course field was pretty weak, this is even weaker without Corey Heim. Like, Corey Heim just easily won most of the road courses last year.
That's a plus on everyone immediately.
Exactly. So it's a really strange field to handicap, but I think Gio Rogerio is a very likely early dominator and a potential winner of this race.
Yeah, definitely.
Starting third, James Hinchcliffe, the first of the ringers in this race, former IndyCar driver. I wouldn't say IndyCar legend, but he had a lot of success in the IndyCar series, including a win at St. Pete. So he's won at this track before. Mm-hmm. He's never been in a stock car, as far as I know, certainly not in a NASCAR stock car, and has been kind of in and out of racing for the last kind of 4 or 5 years, not super active. That being said, if he can figure out these trucks quickly, and Hinchcliffe is a good driver, had a lot of success in IndyCar, like I said, he can really be a competitor here. It's just a matter of figuring out this truck because he knows the track well, knows how to get around the track, probably has as much experience on this track as anyone, save for probably Dario Franchitti, who we'll talk to in a minute. And he looked okay in practice. James Hinchcliffe was within a second of that really quick Kaden Honeyut lap. So I'm pretty bullish on James Hinchcliffe here. It's just a matter of if he can figure out the trucks quick enough, and he looked comfortable enough yesterday.
The good thing about this week for the new guys, like I think this would be a really, really good week for just people new to the series overall. I mean, it was great for SVG, obviously, but the non-competitive pit stops help so much.
Absolutely.
Because that's where they usually fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just a matter of how quickly Hinchcliffe can figure out the truck, how to set up and complete passes, how to maintain tires, because there won't be a lot of tire change or anything like this. So yeah, I like Hinchcliffe here. I don't mind being a little overweight. I mentioned to Taco before the show, I meant to bet him at plus 3,000 before practice, and I just never got around to it. Now he's plus 800. But alas, I think Hinchcliffe is a good play. Kind of the odd man out in this range, but I don't necessarily think he's a bad play, is Ben Rhodes, who's had okay success on road courses, but Ben Rhodes just always seems to be a factor in these kind of new weird races.
He actually averages the most lead laps at road courses of anyone in the entire field.
Which is, it's probably not many laps, but it's
but it shows just, you field's so weak. Yeah. He's on a good team. He's starting up towards the front. He's just as capable as anyone else up here.
Yeah, and you see the ownership being so tight up in this range. I think Ben Rhodes is as good a play as any. And like I said, the most experienced truck driver in this range. So if that matters at all. And Ben Rhodes is just a good driver. Maybe he's not an elite kind of cup-bound driver, but he's a good driver, two-time champion. He'll figure this out really quickly. He should be able to stay out of trouble. We talk about the floor being low for a guy like Mosak. I think the floor is even or the floor being high for a guy like Mosak. I think the floor is even higher for Ben Rhodes, who's just a really competent driver in this range.
Yeah, and he's on the conservative side. Like you get guys in this range like Hinchcliffe that are known to be very aggressive. We're kind of looking for safety and consistency here.
Yeah, and to that idea, Chandler Smith checks a lot of those boxes too. He struggled on the last two road races last year, but he's been very consistently kind of in the top 5, top 10 on the more difficult road course fields in this series. He starts 5th. Is he going to go out and win? That would be a bit of a surprise, but I think he hangs around where he starts. So it's, again, just kind of a high floor play, it feels like.
Yeah. Again, this whole range, you're not playing a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, they're going to be super duper low on. So you're just splashing these guys kind of in and out. You could do a whole lineup with just play stiffs. I mean, we don't have to have these guys at all by any means, especially if it's like a chaos race, which it very well could be.
Absolutely. Dario Franchitti, who I will confidently say is an IndyCar legend. I think he's a 4-time champion. He starts 5th, he starts 6th for Tricon. Dario Franchitti had some runs in NASCAR probably 10 years ago at this point, if not more than that, maybe 20 years ago.
He's raced once. It was like the 2000s.
But he ran in the Xfinity Series too a few times, didn't he?
I'm not sure actually. I don't have that pulled up, but I think he did one truck start.
He has a handful of NASCAR starts, as far as I know. Never really materialized in anything. I think he had a 5th at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series at one point. He didn't have much success 20 years ago when he was here. When he was in NASCAR. I would be surprised to see him have a ton of success now when he's 54, 55 years old. Obviously has a ton of experience at St. Pete's and a little experience in the truck. So for that reason, there's a little upside, but he didn't look super comfortable in practice. And like I said, he wasn't great in NASCAR 20 years ago. I don't know if all of a sudden he's going to be super competitive now. But with that said, he's a legend. He's a great race car driver and knows this track well. Another guy that has won at St. Pete's, him and James Hinchcliffe. So I think you can sprinkle him in, but I don't have a lot of high hopes for Dario Franchitti here.
Yeah, the books don't seem to believe in him. And then, I mean, the rest of this kind of range we can sort of skip. You're officially under an hour to lock. So
yeah,
kind of pick and choose to talk about here.
Slimp, Luis Garcia, I think you can all kind of sprinkle in. I don't know why Landon Lewis is as expensive as he is. His salary was like $8,000. I think that's based on one ARCA West Series win he had last year. But he's not a road course racer. So none of these guys I'm interested in. Adam Andretti, he looked terrible at the start of Atlanta, but ended up figuring it out. That being shocking. It was crazy. Like he figured it out quickly, but Adam Andretti just doesn't have a ton of racing. Like he does, or top level racing experience. I think he's done some stadium super trucks and some Trans Am stuff, but again, just another kind of in the same vein as Dario Franchitti. I just don't expect him to go up and dominate. And if a guy like Adam Andretti can dominate, I expect James Hinchcliffe and Colin Braun to be much better plays. So, I think the first kind of interesting play comes at starting point 11, and that's Justin Haley.
Mm-hmm. And Haley, again, I mentioned the first time we went to the Chicago street course race, he was surprisingly really good at it. Not a bad road course racer at all.
Yeah, won at Mosport a couple years ago, has some wins in this series on a road course. And Mosport is somewhat similar to a street course in the way that it doesn't have pavement runoff. It's got grass runoff. So a little similar. Haley, very competent on road courses and obviously has shown some flashes on street courses. So, yeah, I think Justin Haley is a guy you want to get some leverage on. And maybe like you could even have lineups where you don't have anybody starting higher than Justin Haley.
Would you bet Justin Haley at 45? Like the line seems wild. I think it's just Ram, right?
Yeah, that's the big question. That's we just don't know what these Rams are capable of. But yeah, I don't think it's a terrible bet. I do think there's some better plays, but I do like him from a DFS perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Daniel,
no, I mean we die whatever, right? It's just Ankrum.
Yeah, Ankrum is probably the next one to talk about. He's been really consistent on road courses. I don't know of him having much street course experience, but I think he has run at Mosport. So there is some upside there for sure. He's just a really kind of in that same Ben Rhodes mold, just a really consistent kind of high floor type of guy.
Yeah.
Andres Delara, he starts 14th. I don't mind getting leverage on and Andres Perez Delara. He starts 14th. The Mexico Series runs a ton of road courses. I don't know if they run many street courses, if any, but in a field this week, and I mean inexperienced is probably a better way to put it. Having run a couple full seasons in Mexico where they run a ton of road courses is probably advantage Delara here. So I don't mind getting some leverage on Delara, who holds a bit of an experience advantage over guys like Queen and Dye and Garcia and Lewis. And I don't mind Delara here.
Yeah, he's solid. Starting 14th. We're starting to get to the range. There's a little bit of place differential. And again, with less than 100 laps to go, it's like all place diff. So like the meat and potatoes of the field is really coming out.
Yeah, and finding guys like Delara where you can get leverage and a little bit of place diff is really important. So yeah, don't mind Delara. Brendan Queen doesn't have a ton of road course experience. He was very, very slow in practice. He did look okay in a couple of the ARCA races last year that he ran at Watkins Glen and Sonoma. I think there was one other that I can't remember right now, but just not a road course guy by nature, a pavement oval kind of guy. I would be surprised to see him drive up through this field at all.
Yeah, he's kind of an avoid for me. Yeah, you're big on Colin Braun, so.
Yeah, Colin Braun. The thing that scares me the most about Colin Braun is the Ram colleague, but Braun checks all the boxes for me. You're looking for a guy with stock car / truck experience. Check. Colin Braun has won in the truck series, albeit it was 20 years ago, but he does have that experience, and these trucks haven't changed as much as some of the cars in the other series. So Colin Braun checks that box. He runs a ton of road courses in the Trans Am. I think he's done some stadium super trucks. He was in the Formula cars at one point, the lower series American Formula cars. He races all the time, sports cars, supercars. Much more active than a guy like Dario Franchitti and James Hinchcliffe, and has run at St. Pete's before and has run on a ton of street courses, obviously. Colin Braun checks all the boxes for me that nobody else in this field kind of checks. So, yeah, I'm pretty bullish on Colin Braun here.
This has to be up there as like one of the best leverage plays, too, because I can't imagine his ownership is going to be that high with just a name that people, unless they're pretty old, have not really thought about in the truck series for a long time. But, I mean, he's got over 50 starts. And, I mean, of all the three series, I would take truck series experience from like 20 years ago over Cup series or O'Reilly Auto Parts series experience from 20 years ago. You know, I mean, he's a baller in this field. Like everything's weak. I like it.
The trucks haven't changed certainly as much as the Cup series, and the Xfinity cars or O'Reilly cars have changed a lot too. But Braun is active, and that's what we're getting over some of the other ringers. Braun runs races every weekend. He's very respected, a coach. Like I said, Ram is the biggest question mark here. You don't know what Ram's going to bring, but Colin Braun has a ton of experience, and I think there's a lot of upside there.
I think the driver is just a bit more skill expression just at a track like this. So even if Ram's not like super great, he's just good at this shit, and there's so much inexperience in the field. He'll be able to get around some people.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I talk about him being active. He's successfully active too. He's winning races week to week to week, and he's not that old either. I think he's only 37. He entered the Truck Series when he was very, very young. Had some success, but ultimately transitioned to sports cars and had a lot of success there. But yeah, just a really solid play that checks every box. I think he's the only driver in this field that checks every box when it comes to, truck experience, activity, and street course experience, and St. Pete's experience. He's run races at St. Pete's.
Yep, he's got the best projection to ownership leverage of anyone.
Yeah. Stuart Friesen, he'll start 18th. Fine sprinkle play, but not a standout road course racer. Certainly not a standout street course racer. Dirt background. Has had some top fives at I think Mid-Ohio. He's been okay at, but every other kind of road course has just been kind of mid. Sprinkle play, nothing standing out here for Friesen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just kind of there at road courses usually.
Yeah, Tyler Reif, kind of similar situation. Not a road course guy by nature. Has had some road course starts in the ARCA series where he ran okay, but this is a really tough place to make. I think this is like third or fourth Truck Series start.
No, starting front half of the field at 200 to 1. That's pass.
Kaden Honeyut, the bell of the ball all of a sudden. Like I said, now going off as the favorite to win this race based on his practice performance. Like I said, I think people might be putting too much weight into his practice performance. He might have just been going all out, really attacking the corners. The track conditions might have been perfect. We didn't have nearly enough practice laps to determine whether whatever the time he ran, a 79 something, was even a good lap in context. So I think he's going to be very, very popular, almost impossible to get leverage on. And honestly, I don't mind being underweight on him. You look at his finishes at road courses, never finished inside the top 10. Now, granted, he's run much better than he's finished, but they only count the finish. And I would be very surprised to see Kaden Honeyut drive through this field and dominate anyway. I suspect this field will be very spread out very quickly. And the difference between 19th place and first place is probably going to be 8 or 9 seconds. He's not going to make that time up on track. So I don't know where they're seeing the upside here for Kaden Honeyut.
Well, I think there's a second half to this equation, and that's the fact that we saw this exact truck win like every road course race in recent years.
Yeah, great point. But again, that was with, oh my goodness. What was Corey Haim's crew chief name? I can't believe I'm forgetting it right now. Different crew chief, but it should be the same. I can't believe. I think anyway. I'll look it up later. Different crew chief, but yeah, I think that's a big part of it too. This is Corey Haim's team, and Corey Haim dominated a lot of truck races.
Yeah, yeah, with him being the favorite, like he's going to be pretty chalky. He's expensive. Luckily, to keep the other guys that are like deep place tip guys down. Like he's a great play on paper. It's just he's just kind of being overrated here, I think, overall. And again, the books don't really know much, and I think people are gonna really go off of that, really go off of the fact he's in Haim's car. So underweight's probably the way to go here.
I agree. Scott Zipadelli was the name I was trying to pull up. One of the best crew chiefs maybe ever in the Truck Series. Chris Wright, you would think Chris Wright would be a play here because his background is Trans Ams, is sports cars, but we have never seen that translate into a solid road course run in a stock car.
He's not great.
So
I'll be real with you. Mini Tyrell just get like no experience.
Yeah, Mini Tyrell, I don't think has much road course experience at all. Certainly doesn't have any street course experience. Ty Majeski is probably going to be the chalk of the slate to answer your question, Corey. And for good reason. He was the favorite coming into this race, and I thought it should have been Ty Majeski or Lane Riggs as the favorite.
He still should be.
I think so too. He was really solid in practice, was at the top of the leaderboard at the start of the session before it got shut down, and has just been really consistent, not dominant, but consistently inside of the top 10 on road courses in the Truck Series.
Do you even think that's okay bet at 9? I mean, I guess no one's a really good bet on this slate. It's just like there's value there. I feel like he should just be the favorite. I don't really get it.
Yeah, I think my concern, like I don't want to play anybody less than like plus 1,500 in this race. Yeah. And you've got to make 21 positions up on track. I don't think it's crazy to think Majeski can drive up to the top 5, but to get to the front without competitive pit stop, it's a big task.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can get leverage on Ty Majeski, but I don't mind matching the field.
He does usually qualify better than this. Again, he would be starting in the top 5 like probably 90% of the time if it wasn't for the metric-based start. So this is just a fantastic smash play. I have to agree with the field here. I look at his average late running position in 9 races on the road course is 3.6. That's so good.
Yeah, the other side of this coin too. Got to assume there will be a lot of carnage in this race.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely need to factor in that as well. And with no runoff, like a 1-car incident very quickly becomes a 3 or 4-car incident. So definitely have to keep that in mind. We can probably skip through Muniz and Jackson Lee. Jackson Lee is an interesting prospect, but probably not in this situation in a Rayom truck starting 24th. He was once on the Formula 1 kind of path, washed out of that, but a good road course racer, but not a great situation. Infinger is interesting. He has kind of run the same race at every single road course he's ever been at. Kind of runs around 15th and finishes 11th. Very much in that Ben Rhodes of high floor kind of play, but a good play, I think. Just probably going to grind out around a top 10.
His price is decent. He'll end up in lineups, but yeah, he's not like an interesting or cool play. He's just kind of an NPC in the middle of this racing story. It's about someone else.
Yeah. So another good PD play. I know we're going quick here, but I want to give you guys some time to get some lineups in. Carter Fartouch or Fartush? I'm not sure. Fartouche, elite road course driver. Really held back by his equipment here. I don't mind getting a little bit of exposure to Fartouche. He's an elite road course racer. He coached Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson at one point. He's only 31 years old. He's a very, very respected road course driver. This truck ought to hold him back a little bit, and he was not very good in practice. But I don't mind playing him at like 7 or 8% just based on his pedigree. He's an incredibly talented road course driver.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, it's just the Rayom truck. You pretty much like auto check those off at a place like this if they're not starting like last or something. But yeah, that's a good point. You barely need any to get leverage.
Easy one to get leverage on. And like I said, if he burns you, if the truck burns you, or he just doesn't acclimate to the truck, fine. He's run a couple truck races and they were just okay. I think he ran top 20 at Coda or around top 20. But based on the pedigree, I don't mind getting a little leverage on Carter. Nathan Nicholson is another regular MX-5 driver, has a bit of experience in all types of tracks, road courses and street courses, but I don't trust this car as far as I can throw it. This number 76 FRE truck.
No, absolutely not. This car sucks balls. Yeah.
Lane Riggs is going to be mega chalk. Probably could have been the favorite to win this race. He was pretty good at Lime Rock last year. He was He was the closest to Corey Heim, who dominated that race. The only other person in that race that led a lap, and he didn't even really lead a lap. But yeah, I think Lane Riggs is a fine play. I think his winning upside is probably capped now that he starts so far back, but should drive to the top 10 before it's all said and done.
Yeah, his finishes don't look good on paper, but those runs are actually way better than they seemed.
Yeah, he's run much better than he finished, which could be a problem here. Tanner Gray, I don't have as much interest in, just a carnage play, but not a standout road course racer at all. Really struggled on them last year. Does have top 10 ability, but that's, like I said, big difference between a road course and a street course. Fine PD play just based on starting 29th, but I don't mind being a little underweight on Tanner Gray here.
Yeah, I think Gray seems very like track type specific, and this just isn't one of his track types. He'll probably score fine, but I don't think he'll be in a winning lineup if I had to guess of any of these chalk guys in the back.
Yeah. Demetrius, we'll go through a Dom station setup here in 2 minutes. Let's just blow through the rest of this field. I know we're up against it on time. Cole Butcher starts 30th. He junked his truck in practice. I'll be honest. I've known Cole Butcher for a long time. I don't even think Cole Butcher has ever run a race on a road course.
I mean, 3 wrecks in 1 lap is something.
I do not think, let alone a street course, I don't think he's run on a road course before. He's never run in the Pinty series or has limited starts in the Pinty series. And even then, or I think it's Canadian Tire Series now. And even then didn't run on the road courses. So just a pure carnage play. I don't have a lot of.
No, he is the carnage. Let's be real here.
Yeah, just not enough experience. Christian Eckes is probably one of the better plays in the field. Another guy I think could have been made the favorite to win this race, and a guy that's being underrated. He was really good on road courses back when he was full time.
Yeah, I have no problem with this at all, actually.
Again, his race winning upside is probably capped, but a guy that should easily drive up through this field and pass a lot of these trucks that aren't competitive pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's between him and Hemrick for the chalk of the slate. Just kind of dead even in that regard, just because of price. But like straight up fantasy point projection, it's going to be Eckes number one in this entire field.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get leverage, but I certainly don't mind matching the field. Derek White, whatever. You know about my rule about cars that have the number 69.
Nice.
Just not a serious competition. Derek White has a bit of a road course experience, but nothing to get me excited. And I don't like this MBM team, so I don't mind on checking him, or at least being very light. Dawson Sutton has been okay on road courses. Top 15 last 2 times there. Not a road course guy by nature, but has some experience. This Rackley Ware truck has been okay. This is a fine place. If you want to get some leverage here, I don't even mind that. But this is a little bit carnage dependent, I would say.
Yeah, I like Sutton as a leverage play deep down low. He's just the lowest owned of the feasible guys down in this range. He's really cheap. And he never gets a lot of ownership because people really don't like him.
Yeah. This these Rackley Ware, the 25 and 26 trucks never really get a ton of ownership for whatever reason. Daniel Hemrick, just kind of an obvious PD play. Again, another guy that's going to be hard to get leverage on, but very good at road course racing. Very conservative driver. His carnage rate is probably lower than most people in this range. Had some trouble at Atlanta and Daytona, so people are a little sour on him, but this is just a fine play. Again, hard to get leverage on, but easy to match the field on, in my opinion.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think Hemrick had the second lowest carnage rate of anyone, with the first obviously being Corey Hahn.
Yeah, very conservative driver, should be okay here. Like that play.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, is it Meyer?
Mayer?
I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Super green. Only 17 years old, but a very experienced road course driver. Like I said, all of these young guys tend to be in some sort of road course program. He has run a bunch of Trans Am stuff on street courses and road courses, ran in the super trucks as well. Very much of the Sheldon Creed mold. Good road course racer in theory. Hasn't translated to a decent road course run yet, but I put that up more. I attribute that more to him being 16 last year. It just takes time. This is a fine play. I think he's a really talented road course driver. It's just a matter if he can keep his head together. And obviously this truck, we don't necessarily know what we're getting, but I don't mind getting some exposure here to Ben Mayer. I would be surprised if he's this high owned, but maybe people are on to him. He's
second on the board in practice. That's why he's going to be that high owned.
Fair enough.
Unfortunate truth. I was about to say, don't you wish he took 0 laps in practice? This would be a smash.
Absolutely.
Smash play.
Yeah. But again, the only thing you're really worried about is the inexperience, and he's very, very young and very green. But
no pit stops, no live pit stops. That helps these guys so much.
Yeah, and it's funny to say a kid that's 17 has more experience than most of the field, but it's the reality. Sure. He's got more road course experience than most of the field here. So a good play. And Timmy Hill, very much the Brennan Poole of the Truck Series.
He finishes 21st everywhere, no matter what type of track it is. Bro finishes 21st. So starting 36, it's not bad.
Yeah, he's
fine, but it's all floor, no ceiling.
Yeah. Gonna score you 35 to 40 points. If that's enough, great. If it's not, great, but it probably won't burn your lineup playing Timmy Hill.
Mm-hmm. All right, sorry, on to the DS because we got some lineups to make. 40 minutes?
Yeah. Let's blow through this as quick as we can. We got through the drivers in 40 minutes. That's like a world record. So, yeah. Truck Series race, I'll hand it off, or Truck Domination Station here. I'll hand it off to you, Taco. What do you?
I mean, you'll probably do this anyway, but I like at most 1 Dominators. So
what do you have
starting in the top 10.
Top 10. So yeah, we'll spit at most 1 player starting in the top 10.
Yep. And then we don't have time to do it here, but I'd go through and make a shitter rule, just all the bad drivers maybe doing, or even just maybe even throw him onto the dom and do that. But it's not super important here because we're just going to be smashing some place differential. Is what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, sort by percent ownership, and go through the guys that are like 5% or less owned, and you don't have to pick all of them, but all the ones that you don't have any interest in, go make a combination rules, put them all in, and then all lineups at most one, or if you want to uncheck them, you can do that too.
Hear me out here. This is the highest I've ever recommended at a non-super speedway, 20% random. Okay, you go to like 50. Honestly, fair, but
yeah,
I don't know what to expect, and so you shouldn't either. So
let
jack that shit up.
Let Jesus take the wheel on that one. I don't mind 20% randomization there. Salary or ownership cap, are you making any adjustments there?
Honestly, not really. I'll see how it goes, I guess. Maybe I guess we could run it and just see what the highest ownership percentage lineups are, but there's really only one lineup, like the cash game lineup, that's like going to be super duper chalky.
One or two uniques here.
I mean,
really preference.
Usually two would be like super speedway for me at least. But if you like uniques, two, it's a high randomization slate, so two can work if you're doing a lot of lineups, like a lot of lineups.
Yeah, I think one if you're doing 150, but if you think this is going to be a weird carnagey race where a guy like Frankie Muniz finishes fourth for some reason, then I would go two uniques.
If that happens, then what are we doing, bro?
Exactly. Let's go ahead and run that and see what it spits out. See if we need to put any ownership caps on. Mayer, it's playing at 79%. Hemrick, Eckes, Majeski, it's very high on. Riggs, Tanner Gray, I would probably bump down a little bit.
It's the place stiff.
Yeah, it's just 100%.
Like I would definitely limit or knock down like Timmy Hill because you don't want half your lineups with a cash game play in it. Ben Mayer, obviously, super duper high upside. He's gonna have a great projection starting damn near last, but he's got to be at least below the carnage rate. I would probably cap everyone to 50% to start. Maybe make a couple of exceptions for the two really good chalk plays.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50 to 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then let that run, and then go and find a couple guys. Find those leverage plays we talked about, guys like Perez de Lara or guys like Fartush. Get some exposure on them. Yeah. And then go and find some guys you want to be underweight on. Guys like Tanner Gray jumps off the page. If you want to take a stand on a guy like Daniel Hemrick, Kaden Honeyut's a guy that I don't mind being pretty underweight on. Go through and make those manual adjustments. And I think that's the way to attack this slate. But again.
Yeah, I love some Braun, but I think I'm kind of with it on the Braun love.
Yeah.
I would love to be overweight like that on Braun. I think that's great.
I agree. You can't go into this race expecting too much. I mean, Phoenix will be a return to normalcy. If this is your first year in NASCAR DFS, these first 3 weeks have been nothing like what the rest of the year will be. Return to form next week, but yeah, this race is just, make some stands and just enjoy the show because I have no idea what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Let's go over to the odds board. We were looking at this before the race. They've made Kaden Honeyut the favorite. Plus 350 is crazy to me. But again, we talked about that. I was bullish on James Hinchcliffe back when he was plus 3,000. Now that he's plus 700, not as bullish on him. The two that jump off the page we've talked about, Colin Braun and Justin Haley. As long as they are, those would be the only two that I'm probably interested in here.
I like Haley in this spot.
Yeah, I agree.
Braun, it's kind of hard. I mean, yeah, there could be a first-time winner. I think he'll do well. I don't know if he wins, right? But he could do pretty damn well. I think where's what's the top three line for Gio Rogerio?
You know what's funny, and I'll look at that. We'll switch over. I look at this board, plus 180 for top three.
Well, he's 3 out of 3 in third places, so just keep that up, I guess.
I look at this board and I go through, and I'm like, I don't think any of these guys are gonna win. Like, there's no
someone's got to win.
I know someone's got to win, but I don't think any
That's why That's why I think Ty Majeski is just a good pick here. He's the only guy I could think of. Like, yeah, he could definitely win. He could certainly win. Yeah. Other than that, it's like, I don't know. They're not really winners.
Kaden Honeyut.
The winner's not in the series anymore. So
Kaden Honeycutt's first win comes on a street course. That doesn't sound right. Connor Mosak never even finishes races, so he's going to win a race. That doesn't sound right.
All roads lead to Majeski here, I think.
But even Majeski starts 22nd. That's so much. That's so much.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I'm kind of there with you. I just kind of got my hands up in the air here.
None of these make sense.
Does Hinchcliffe pull an SVG? I don't know about that, man.
It seems unlikely that a guy like that would come in and have success right away. Honestly, I think my win pick is Gio Rogerio. He's just the one that feels the most correct, and that's like 10% correct.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on if Majeski and like Chandler Smith or Eckes can cut through the field. If they're able to cut through the field, sure. Again, it's a street course. It's really awkward and hard to cut through the field.
And I would say like this is a great live betting opportunity, but I don't even know if we'll get enough green flag laps in a row to understand who's good. Like, can this field make 3 or 4 clean green laps in a row? I don't know, man. So it's just a really weird slate. I'm going to go with Gio Rogerio to win. Do you want to make a pick here?
I'll pick Ty Majeski. I think he could do it throughout the course of a race. There's going to be probably enough like cautions and shit going on, and he's one of the best at avoiding them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys starting.
He's going to just out-experience a lot of people.
There's a lot of guys starting in front of him that should just kind of matriculate back. That he won't necessarily, like Mini Tyrell, Chris Wright.
Because I mean, these guys didn't qualify on speed, so some of these guys are going to be shaking in their boots starting up towards the front. Like Wesley Slim. Sorry, bro.
So it's, he can probably just, by factor of being a truck regular and a very good truck and having some road course experience, make his way to the top 10. And then the question just becomes, can he drive through the top 10? And who knows? We don't even know what these restarts are going to look like. These restarts might be crazy. You might see guys starting on the inside on row 8 being able to dive bomb and get up to row 4. So, yeah, I think Tyler Majeski is a fair pick. I'm going to go with Gio Rogerio. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Hinchcliffe was competitive. Ben Rhodes.
We're not even considering Mosak, even though it's been the return of the pole sitter winners as of late.
Yeah, I mean, that could be too. We might just be single file all day and nobody can pass, and Mosak just sets the pace.
Might his first ever finish ever.
Yeah. So a lot to question, but we're going to get the answers soon. The race starts here in about 25 minutes, I think. So go get your lineups in. Play very light, because like I said, this is not this is not what NASCAR DFS is. We are going to have a return to normalcy next week at Phoenix, and even more so the next week at Las Vegas. But it should be a fun watch either way. We do have another race this afternoon. The Xfinity race kicks off. Should be about an hour after the truck race, if that. If we have time, we'll do a podcast, but it really depends on how long this truck race goes. If we don't have time, I will have notes up over at dfsarmy.com. If you're not signed up to the DFS Army, get access to all these tools we've used, the research station, the notes, the domination station, and the Discord where we talk about all this stuff 24/7. The link for that is in the bio, dfsarmy.com/NASCAR. Get signed up. Like I said, we'll do our best to get a podcast in, but it really just depends on the timing. I think the timing's pretty tight, isn't it?
Yeah. It's tough. Like the timing and scoring is going to be fucky again. We almost didn't get it for practice.
Yeah, we might. We talk about live betting this race. We might not even have live timing and scoring to live bet anyway. But anyway, we will do our best to do a Xfinity podcast. If not, we will be back tomorrow around noontime to do a Cup Series breakdown. That should be a very fun one at Coda. Anything we missed, Taco, or is it time to go make some lineups?
Let's go make some fucking lineups and throw those helmets up. Make some goddamn money. And also in the Xfinity race. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, like I said, notes for that should be up here very, very shortly.
Well, we can do it real quick, right? Either SVG or Zillich. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. Great.
Excellent. We will talk to you later today, if not sometime tomorrow around noon. Until then, Taco, I think it's time for you, because we did not do that well when I said it. So it's back on you to say your famous catchphrase.
Well, I did already say it, but let's do it again. Get those fucking helmets up, bro. Let's go make some money tonight.